Yeah, no, I'm incredibly proud and happy for this team. Carolina is a very difficult team to play because of how they move the ball around. But the tactics was let them have the ball, which is hard for us to do because I love to keep the ball. I love to go and press high. But we had the discipline, and this is why it's exciting that we can show different looks. We dropped off, and yeah, they enjoyed possession, but rarely were they dangerous and creating dangerous opportunities for us, against us. And then the key for us was going to be, once we defended in that block and we won the ball, could we keep it? And we weren't doing that at the beginning of the second half. We were just giving it away, right? But we knew that it could come if we would just connect. So when they came off to the side, it's just about them believing in themselves again and connecting a few passes. We were solid defensively, and then we started keeping it, connecting 3-4 passes, and all of a sudden you saw the last 15 minutes or so. And then also credit to the fans, because that's something actually the players were talking about right here at the end. It's with 5-6 minutes left, actually even before that, the fans with the towels and the chants, and they said, there's no way we're losing this game. And it's just, it's a gritty performance, not our best in the attack, but it wasn't necessarily the game plan. It was more about, let's be solid defensively, and could we hit them on counters the way we did, and we could have had a couple more. So a good win for us. We get 3 points, and we move on, and we've got another game here to play for a playoff spot.
Hey, Coach. First, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
When Abby scored that goal in the 82nd, how big was that exhale? Because y'all were really creating chances throughout the night, something that I feel like it's kind of building off of last week, but how big was that relief?
Oh, I think someone says that I maybe broke my vertical jump when celebrating, so that's what they were talking about. I mean, I absolutely lost it, but it's just because they deserved it, right? They were playing really well in the defensive side of it, and it was just about getting those opportunities. And we had opportunities in the first half. We lost our way, I said, in the second half for a little bit there. But once we got it back, we were now creating, and we're making it very difficult for them to play. So it's just, a culmination of everything we've done. And that's why it just feels absolutely incredible. We're finding different ways of winning, and that's what it's going to take to make the playoffs, and that's what it's going to take in once we're in the playoffs, right? I think it's difficult to scout us. Yes, they know we have dangerous players in certain positions, right? And actually all over the field, but I think we're a tough team to scout.
Marissa and Alex?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked a lot about just what Abby has done for you guys defensively since she's come here. How has she changed the dynamic of the way you play offense? And tonight, obviously, kind of a culmination of that. Just scored a goal.
Right. Well, it's that she's a sense of she's calm on the ball. She understands when to play through the midfield, when to play wide to Caprice. They have a really good partnership. When to go and play in behind. She just has a good understanding of what I've said since the very beginning is it's recognize the moments. Recognize the moments and then take advantage of what the other team gives you. And she does that very well. And then isn't it kind of ironic? She scores this goal, which is a big goal for us. And she scored the first goal against Portland when we kind of started this run in her first game with us. And the team is kind of feeding off that energy because she believes she's a winner everywhere she has been, right? And that's also, that helps us in the attack. That helps us in how we play because there's a sense of belief that we can go out here and do some really special things. And she brings that every single day at practice, and now you just see it throughout the group, which is exciting.
Obviously, I know you like to play with the ball and go be aggressive and go. Knowing where you are in the standings, knowing the result you had to at least get a point out of tonight, how much, even on a personal level, was that tough? But how much do you see the players kind of embrace maybe we need to park it a little bit, find our attacking moments and counters in that way?
Yeah, so I'll tell you, it is very difficult because I just want to go and press and create chances. And even the players were asking, it's like, can we go press? Can we go a little bit higher? And so it was a conversation back and forth. But I'm like, no, we're gonna hold our ground right here, and we're gonna pick our times to go. And when we do, we have to go as a group, right? But just keep that discipline. And but this is what we've seen for the last couple of months. It's the information's given to them, they're embracing it, they're applying it, and they're executing. But yeah, moving forward, especially for next season, that's how I'd like to try to keep the ball, right? And you've seen us do that at times, but you're right. There's a little bit of the pressure, and they're just a talented team. So we decided to defend them a little differently than we did last time.
And I'm just as a quick, how much did you, as a coaching staff, maybe know the result of Louisville, and how much did you kind of either keep it from the players, or did you let them know what had happened there?
The players were always going to find out, so I'm sure they all knew. I mean, it was being talked about. I actually didn't watch the game. I was watching Lionel Messi score 3 goals. And I joke around because I'm like, I don't need any more stress. Why am I going to stress watching Louisville right now? It's like I can't take 2 games like this. So I really didn't. So I left off, and someone told me during warm-up that Louisville scored, I guess, at the end of the game. And everyone starts. I'm like, so what? We still have to go and do our job. We have to go and score. I mean, we have to get a tie or a point or 3 points. So it didn't really affect me, and I was hoping it didn't affect the team. So the conversation was just about what we're going to do and concentrating on us. And it makes it more exciting. This is what this league does, right?
So where you are now, if you get the single point next week you're in, but you're likely going to face Orlando for the 3rd time this season. But this is a team that you've held a goal and a half under their average twice.
Yeah.
How do you feel going into that game, knowing it's also going to be on the road, but knowing what you've done against them so far?
I can't really answer that because I haven't even thought about Orlando, who we're going to play. Our game right now is Houston. And like I said, I want to finish in 6th place, and there's a possibility of that, right? So I'm looking at how high can we go up the standings. It's that mentality. It's not just 1 point or we're finished. Just the way I am and how we think, and this is what we try to send to the players, that positivity. It's like, hey. And then we'll see who we face, but I haven't thought about that at all.
Kevin, then Alex.
Hey, Albertin, can you talk about players like Tess, Kiki, and Alyssa? Like, they're not players that fans might have circled in the beginning of the year, but they've really taken a hold of spots in your lineup. Like, what are they doing to earn that playing time?
Yeah, well, I think that can be said with our entire team. What they've done is, I think maybe they had a little chip on their shoulder, and to a certain extent, they're quality players. They just needed to be given that opportunity, and it's just they're believing in themselves, because we saw that everyone was having a difficult time at the beginning of the season, but they're helping each other out. They're growing as a group, and that's what's also really important. It's allowing these players to have success. Is that believe in each other, so it's and in themselves, because that's a big part of it. If you don't have any confidence, you're not going to be successful in this game. So that's really their biggest difference, is that, hey, we can go and play against anybody, and they're saying it. They're believing it. And that's why those 3 have had, and actually, like I said, all of the players, is we've had some really good performances against top teams. Kansas City last weekend, Chawinga, we didn't give her much, except that incredible goal from 30 yards out. Orlando, with only conceding that 1 goal the second time around. But it's just, it's all of them believing and having the confidence in themselves.
We're going to go Alex, Nico, and Marco last.
Yeah, you've known Abby for a day or 2 at this point, as I understand it. For her to score this goal in her home region with a club that didn't even exist 20 months ago at this point, how much do you know this means to her in that regard, and what does it even mean for you to watch her do this here?
I know it means the world to her, just playing in front of her friends that she grew up with, her family, extended family. She has so much support in the Bay Area, and she grew up playing down the street, 10 minutes away. And the fact that she can come here and play the way she has been and create these special memories for all of these fans, it really inspires her. And that's what I think I told fans, that they inspire us, and especially her. She's from this area. She wants to give back. It's incredibly exciting. So, yeah, I don't have the words to say what it means to her, because I know how special it is, and she just kind of demonstrated after the game, the words she shared and the hug, and just says it all. So she's very thankful.
Oh, Spanish. Hi.
Hi.
Felicidades por la victoria.
Gracias.
¿Nos puede hablar un poquito acerca de el obstáculo que ha sido esta temporada y como un nuevo club y como un nuevo entrenador tratando de hacer la postemporada? ¿Puede hablar un poquito?
¿Qué quiere decir del taco?
Postemporada, el obstáculo como challenges.
Oh, mira, lo más difícil es, teníamos 26 jugadores que nunca han jugado juntos, ¿verdad? Entonces también teníamos entrenadores que nunca habían trabajado. Y eso fue lo más difícil, porque no los conocíamos, no sabíamos cómo jugar en el campo. Y ahora, 6 meses, 7 meses después, los entendimos en el campo, saben jugar y están jugando con el corazón y nada más, no solo el fútbol, pero con las canas, como se dice, ¿verdad? Están jugando con las canas y eso es muy importante. Y eso no lo tenían en el principio de la temporada. Pero ahora tenemos ganas, sabemos jugar con nosotros y eso está ayudando mucho.
Hey, Coach, apologize for coming in late, and so sorry if somebody already asked you this question, but looking back, beginning of the season, if someone told you this last game of the season would be for the playoffs, would you believe them?
Absolutely, because that's where I thought. I mean, that's why we do it, right? We know it's a process. We know it. And look, there's still a lot of work to be done, but you have to have that belief. And I mean, if you would have asked me, let's say, a couple months into the season, I may have had a different answer than at the beginning of the season, just because I'm like, okay, this is a little bit more challenging than we anticipated. The group, there was so much growth that needed to happen, but that's what's incredibly exciting. That growth has happened much sooner and quicker than we thought it would. And but if it's at the beginning of the season, I'm like, of course, yeah, we're going to do this. Why not? And then our belief, and even for the staff, I'm always honest. It's like, hey, gosh, yeah, it might take us a couple of years. And we just found a way, and I believe, and credit to everyone involved, that now it's a special place to be. And they feel it. And that's what's most important.
Last question.
Coach, how do you carry the momentum from this?
What's that?
How do you carry the momentum from a win like this, the way everything kind of went down into Houston in 2 weeks, considering you don't play for 2 weeks, which is kind of the hard part, right? Because I guess you want to play almost right away again, but international break in the week leading in.
Yeah, I was thinking of calling FIFA to see if they can cancel the international, but I don't think that's going to go over very well. Yeah. It's the message all along has been also, don't get too high with the highs, not too low with the lows. It's a process. We're here to continue getting better. That's what we're going to do for 2 weeks. It gives us 2 weeks to continue getting even better. Okay? And if we do that, I think I know we're going to be successful. But it's that's going to be carrying the momentum. It's like, okay, great performance. We showed different ways of winning. Now let's get even better and carry it into Houston.
Awesome.
Tess, how have you seen the offense just change for you guys? You kind of struggled with finishing a little bit. Abby scores today. How have things kind of changed during the season for your offense?
Yeah, I mean, wow, these are new since I've been in here. I think that we have like a spread the wealth type situation going on with scoring. We have a lot of different threats in behind, set pieces today, run of play, and I think that just makes us extra difficult to defend.
Alex and Abby, I would love to hear your take on how that goal went down, but just from watching the replay, it almost looked like you were getting tugged into a spot where you just kind of threw the leg out at the ball. Can you kind of...
Honestly, I'll have to watch it back because I don't really remember what happened. But yeah, I mean, we kept getting free kicks around the box, and we have to capitalize against a good team. You know, you're only going to get so many chances against North Carolina. So Rudy just put in an unbelievable ball, and the goalie didn't come out, and just kind of stuck my leg out and went in.
Yeah, just like that.
Abby, first off, congrats. Kids grow up wanting that moment, getting the game-winning goal, game-winning touchdown at home. You just had that. You grew up like 10, 15 minutes from here. What was that moment, just having that moment here like for you, especially considering where else you played in?
Yeah, it's surreal. I'm just so grateful. I'm so happy to be back home. And this team has allowed me to be myself, and that's just a testament to the girls, the culture they've built, the culture we're continuing to build, the fans, the support that we get. It's incredible, and I just think of like gratitude and being thankful for everything, and you can't have happiness without gratitude. So just being thankful and all of that, and my whole career's kind of led me home. So it's kind of this full circle moment, and I'm just happy off the field, and I think that will translate on the field to just enjoying it.
Quick follow-up, was there a big sigh of relief? Because you guys are really, really creating chances throughout the night to finally get the ball in the back of the net. How big, I asked Albertin, but how big was that exhale, that defining goal of 1-0?
Oh my God, absolutely. We needed a win tonight, and we were knocking on the door. And I think that moment Abby scored, Abby turned around and we just locked eyes and we were both like, yes. That's the moment, and now we just defend for our lives. And yeah, I think that's also huge growth in our home opener. We had gone up and we ended up conceding in the end of the game, and so I think that just shows the growth of our team, and also the addition of Abby and how great she is at just organizing and locking it down for us back there and putting it in the goal. It's our girl.
Thanks, Tess.
Yeah, Tess, what Albertin's here, we know he loves goals. He just wants them all the time. You guys play in crazy pace, going after everything. To kind of be able to play a game completely on the back foot in that regard, let them have possession. How much is even maybe a player like Abby or just the team buying into having to do whatever you need to, even if it's maybe not what you would want to do to win matches at this point in the season?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think today was different for us. I think we usually like to dictate the tempo and keep the ball, and today we kind of said, okay, we're going to have to let them keep it for a bit, which was definitely different for us and difficult, but I also think, we all bought in on Albertin's game plan, and, it worked. We won. So, yeah, I don't know much to add there.
Hey, Tess, I think at this point you've now played more games this year than at any point in your career. What does that mean to you, and where do you feel like your game's grown the most this year?
Yeah, probably just fitness and long-term mental staying locked in through the season. This is definitely the most minutes I've had in a year. And I think, I knew it was going to be an opportunity coming here, expansion team. But, not done yet. I hope that we still have, 5 more games? 4 more games? Yeah.
Okay, so you get maybe the defining of the team, the franchise so far goal in this game, but something that's kind of been overlooked in the presser today is that your side mate there got named to the national team training squad this week. She kind of came out looking like this is wanting to play like this is why. Did you kind of feel that in her play today?
Yeah, I think Alyssa's had an amazing season, and yeah, it's Alyssa, right? Yeah. Alyssa's had an amazing season, and I think you can see, her growth throughout the year, and just really proud of her and excited. It's an amazing opportunity, and we all know she's going to crush it there, and she has our full support. But yeah, I think, every opportunity you get to step out on the field, you get to prove yourself. Everyone's watching, and yeah, that's good play in the league can get you calls into the national team, and I think that's really important, and we're really proud of Alyssa.
And Tess, did that make it easier? Do the two of them back there, and actually the whole back line, make it easier for you to play freer up front? 100%.
Yeah, I think having trust in your back line as an attacker is huge. Just having the freedom to take risks and know, they're going to have it locked down back there.
Marco, and then we'll wrap the last question here.
Tess, you experienced every up and down throughout the season, and this being the expansion team that it is, knowing that you guys now have this one game to get into the playoffs, did you know maybe something like this was going to happen in the beginning of the season as opposed to now?
You mean being in a potential playoff spot?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the goal from day one here is we never want to use the phrase we're an expansion team. We're a team that wants to win. We have really high goals, and I think that they put together an incredible roster of talent. So on paper at the beginning of the year, it was like, yeah, we should absolutely contend to not even make playoffs, but contend to go win playoffs. So no, I'm not surprised. I'm sure other people on the outside are, but I think internally, I think we're like, yeah, we deserve that.
Last question.
From both of you, did you get the sense that, like, knowing the importance of this game, did you feel like when you scored your goal, like, even though the game's not over yet, you felt a great sense of exhilaration because you knew that could be the turning point of the game?
For sure. I mean, I think everyone in like a 10-mile radius probably heard the stadium and the fans. It was incredible. My ears were ringing. So, yeah, I would say that's a turning point in the game. And we knew, it was about game management and locking it down. And, I know we didn't have the ball as much as we probably wanted to because Carolina was a good possession-oriented team. But I feel like we just took advantage of, the opportunities. Thank goodness.
Mm-hmm.